Then he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." In that moment, something invisible yet powerful was given. It was not just comfort, but a mission. Those who had been afraid were now being sent, from hiding to witness, from silence to proclamation. The resurrection was not only something to be believed, it was something to be lived and carried into the world. Yet not everyone believed right away. Thomas, one of the 12, was not there when Jesus first appeared, and when the others told him, he struggled to accept it. He said he needed to see, to touch, to know for himself. And so Jesus came again, this time for Thomas. He did not reject his doubt, he met him in it. "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and place it in my side." It was not a moment of shame, but of invitation. And in that encounter, doubt gave way to faith. Thomas answered, "My Lord and my God." The resurrection did not erase wounds. Jesus still bore them. But those wounds were no longer signs of defeat. They had become signs of love, of sacrifice, of victory. This changes everything, because it means pain is not the end, loss is not final, and even the deepest wounds can be transformed. From that point on, the disciples were no longer the same. Something had shifted deep within them. The same men who once hid in fear now stood boldly before crowds. They spoke, not as people repeating a story, but as witnesses of something real. They had seen, they had encountered, they had been changed. And no threat, no opposition could silence what they now carried inside. This is how the message spread, not through force, not through power, but through lives transformed. From one heart to another, from one city to the next, the story of the resurrection moved forward, carried by those who had encountered it. It crossed cultures, languages, generations, and continues even now. But the resurrection is not only about them. It is also about you. Because at some point, every person faces the same questions. Where is hope when everything falls apart? Is there meaning in suffering? Can anything truly begin again? The empty tomb stands as an answer, not in loud arguments, but in quiet invitation. It invites you to look at your own life, at the places that feel broken, lost, unfinished, at the moments where hope seems distant and questions feel heavier than answers. And it whispers, what if the story is not over? The resurrection does not deny pain. It does not pretend suffering isn't real. But it reveals something greater, that even in the darkest moment, there is a light that cannot be overcome, that even in silence, something is still at work, that even when all seems lost, God is not finished. And maybe this is why the story endures, because it speaks to something deep within every human heart, the longing for life beyond death, the hope that love is stronger than loss, the desire for a new beginning. So the question remains, what will you do with this story? Will you walk away as if nothing has changed? Or will you pause and allow yourself to wonder what it might mean if it were true? Because if the resurrection is real, then hope is real.
then forgiveness is real. Then new life is possible. Not just someday, but even now. And perhaps, in the quiet places of your life, you may begin to hear it, not as a distant echo, but as a personal call. Just like Mary in the garden, just like the disciples on the road, just like Thomas in his doubt. A voice calling your name. And when that moment comes, everything can change. You wake up, but you don't feel awake. Your body moves, your mind follows, but something inside you still feels heavy. You check your phone, messages, notifications, noise, but none of it fills the space inside you. You get up, you go through your routine, you do what you're supposed to do, and yet, there's this quiet question following you everywhere.
Why do I still feel like this? You try to ignore it. You distract yourself. Music, videos, work, people. But the moment everything slows down, it comes back. That same emptiness, that same weight, that same feeling that something is missing. You don't always understand it, you just feel it. And sometimes you're tired of feeling it. You've tried to be strong. You've told yourself, just keep going. It will get better. Don't think too much. But your thoughts don't listen. They come anyway. At night, they get louder. You lie there, eyes open, staring into the dark. And your mind starts replaying everything. Things you regret, things you lost, things that didn't work out, moments you wish you could go back and change, and questions that never seem to have answers. Why did that happen? Why me? Why now? And maybe the hardest one, where was God? You prayed, you remember that. You asked for help. You asked for a sign. You asked for something, anything, but nothing came. At least, that's how it felt. And slowly, without even noticing, your prayers became shorter, then quieter. Then sometimes, they stopped. Not because you stopped believing completely, but because you got tired. Tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of feeling like you were talking into emptiness. You didn't lose faith. You just got tired holding on to it. And no one really knows that, because on the outside, you still look fine. You smile when needed. You talk when spoken to. You show up. But inside, there's a gap, a space that nothing seems to fill. Sometimes you feel disconnected from people, from yourself, even from me. And that scares you because you wonder, if I can't feel God anymore, does that mean He's gone? You don't say it out loud, but the thought is there, and it lingers. You see others who seem strong in faith, who seem sure, who seem full of peace, and you compare. And you ask yourself, why not me? Why do I feel so far away? And then you start blaming yourself. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe this is my fault. That weight grows, not just pain, but guilt. And now, you're carrying both. You try to fix it. You try to do better, be better. Pray more, think less, control your thoughts. But the harder you try, the more exhausted you become. Because deep down, this is not something you can solve by effort,
And that's what makes it so frustrating. You feel stuck, like you're moving but not going anywhere, like your life is happening, but you're not really inside it. There are moments when everything feels meaningless. You look around and wonder what all of this is for, why you're here, what your purpose is, and whether any of it actually matters. You don't want to feel this way, but you don't know how to stop it. So you keep going, day after day, carrying something you can't fully explain. And sometimes, you just wish someone would understand. Not give advice, not fix you. Just understand. Just sit with you in the silence. Just say, I see you. Because that's what you need most right now. Not answers, presence. And maybe you didn't realize this, but this is exactly where my disciples were after the cross. They had followed me, trusted me, believed in me. And then, everything fell apart. In one moment, they lost what they thought was their future. They didn't understand. They didn't see a bigger plan. They only saw loss, just like you. They were afraid, confused, broken inside. They locked themselves away, not just physically, but emotionally. They didn't know what to believe anymore. And maybe that's where you are too. Not fully gone, but not fully present. Somewhere in between, holding on, but barely. And here is the truth you need to hear. You are not strange for feeling this way.
You are not weak. You are not broken beyond repair. You are human. And more than that, you are in a moment that looks like an ending, but is not. Because just like them, you are standing right before something changes. You just can't see it yet. And that's what makes it hard. Because you are being asked to stay in a place that feels uncertain, to trust without seeing, to hold on when everything inside you feels tired. But listen carefully. The silence you feel is not emptiness. The waiting you are in is not abandonment. And the distance you think exists is not real. You are not alone in this. You were never alone in this. Even in the moments you felt nothing, I was there, closer than you realized, walking with you, even when you didn't recognize me. Just like those on the road who thought they were walking alone, but weren't. And soon, you will begin to see, not all at once, but enough to change everything. Stay with me just a little longer. Don't rush this moment. Don't try to understand everything. Just stay. Because this is where everything begins to change, not outside of you, but inside. You've been searching for answers, trying to make sense of your pain, trying to find clarity in the noise. But I am not coming to you as an explanation. I am coming to you as a presence, right here, right now, closer than you think, closer than your thoughts, closer than your fears. I am here. You don't need to clean yourself up first. You don't need to become stronger. You don't need to prove anything to me. You don't even need perfect faith. Just be here. Just breathe and listen. Because I know you, not the version you show people,
Not the version you try to be, but the real you. The one who feels tired, the one who feels lost, the one who sometimes doesn't even recognize themselves anymore. I see you, and I am not turning away. I know the nights you cried quietly.
I know the thoughts you didn't tell anyone. I know the moments you almost gave up. I was there, not watching from a distance, standing with you, even when you felt nothing, even when you believed I was silent. I was not silent. I was speaking in ways your heart was not ready to hear yet. Do you remember that moment when everything felt just a little lighter? That moment you couldn't explain, but something inside you softened? That was me. Do you remember when you thought you wouldn't make it, but somehow you did? That strength was not yours alone. I was there. You thought you were holding on by yourself, but I was holding you, and I have never let go. Look at me, not with your eyes, but with your heart. You don't need to imagine something far away. You don't need to search in the distance. I am here, right in the place you thought was empty, right in the silence that scared you, right in the pain you tried to escape. I am here, just like I was in the garden. She was crying, broken, unable to see hope. And I didn't come with power. I didn't come with noise. I simply said her name, and everything changed. So let me do the same with you. Say your name, quietly, in your heart. Listen. That gentle voice you feel, that calm, that presence, that is me. I am calling you, not to judge you, not to remind you of your failures, but to bring you back to peace, back to truth, back to yourself. You don't have to run anymore. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to carry everything alone. Give it to me. Not perfectly, not all at once. Just begin. Even if it's small, even if it's just, I'm tired. That is enough. I hear you. I understand you. And I am not disappointed in you. Let that sink in. I am not disappointed. Not in your weakness, not in your doubts, not in your struggle. Because I see deeper than that. I see your heart. And your heart still wants me. Even when you're confused. Even when you're distant. Even when you're unsure. That desire is not something you created. I placed it there. And I am drawing you back. Not with force, with love. Just like I walked beside those who didn't recognize me, I have been walking beside you, in your confusion, in your disappointment, in your quiet questions. And you thought you were alone, but you weren't. You never were. And now you are beginning to see. Not everything, but enough. Enough to feel something shift. Enough to realize that this presence is real. That I am real. Not just a story, not just a memory. Alive, here, with you. The tomb is empty, not just as history, but as a truth that reaches you now. Death did not hold me, and your pain will not hold you. Your past will not define you.
Your fears will not control you, because I am here. And where I am, there is life. Where I am, there is a way is peace. Where I am, there is a way forward, even if you cannot see it yet. Take my hand, not physically, but in your heart. Trust this moment. Trust this presence. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stay with me, because everything you've been searching for is not far away. It's here with me, and I am not going anywhere. Stay with me. You felt my presence, even if it was quiet, even if it was gentle. Now, let me show you how to live with it. Not perfectly, not all at once, but slowly, like light entering a dark room. You don't need to change everything today. You just need to begin. And I will walk with you. Morning. When you wake up, before you touch your phone, before the world rushes in, pause, just for a moment. Breathe. And remember this: you are not alone. Say it quietly. I am not alone. Not because you feel it strongly, but because it is true. Even when your mind is heavy,
Even when your heart feels distant, I'm still here. You don't need long prayers. You don't need perfect words. Just speak honestly. Jesus, stay with me today. That is enough. And when your thoughts start running, when your worries begin to rise, come back to that moment. Come back to me, not with effort, but with awareness, like returning to a place where you are safe. During the day, life will get noisy. People, work, responsibilities, and sometimes you will forget this moment. That's okay. You don't have to hold me perfectly, because I am holding you. In the middle of your day, there will be small moments. Moments where you feel overwhelmed. Moments where your thoughts spiral. Moments where you feel that familiar weight again. When that happens, don't fight it alone. Pause, even for a few seconds, and turn inward. You don't need to say much. Just this: are you here? And listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. You may not hear words, but you will feel something. A stillness, a softness, a quiet strength. That is me. Stay there for a moment. Let it settle. Then continue your day. You don't need to escape your life to find me. I am already inside it, walking with you, in every conversation, in every decision, in every silent struggle. You are not doing this alone. Not anymore. When you feel overwhelmed, there will be moments when everything feels too much. Your thoughts get loud, your emotions rise, your chest feels heavy. In those moments, don't try to fix everything. Don't try to control everything. Just stop and breathe. Slowly. In and out. Again and again. Then say, I can't carry this alone. And let that be enough. You don't need to explain everything. I already understand. Give me that weight, even if it feels small, even if it feels incomplete. I will take it. Not all at once, but step by step. And you will begin to feel lighter. Not because your problems disappear immediately, but because you are no longer carrying them alone. Evening. As the day slows down, as the noise fades, you may feel everything come back again. The thoughts, the questions, the emotions you pushed aside. That's okay. You don't have to run from them. Sit with me in that quiet. You don't need to fix your day. You don't need to judge yourself. Just look back, gently. Where did you feel something today? Even something small. A moment of peace, a moment of strength, a moment where you didn't give up. That was not an accident. I was there, even if you didn't notice at the time. And where you struggled, where you felt weak, where you felt like you failed, bring that too, not with shame, but with honesty. I struggled today, and I will meet you there, not with disappointment, but with grace, always with grace. Night. Before you sleep, when everything becomes still again, this is your moment, not to think more, but to release. Lie down, close your eyes, and imagine this. You are not alone in that room. I am there, not far away, right beside you. You don't have to see me, just know I am here. Let your body rest. Let your thoughts slow down. And if your mind starts racing again, come back to this. You are here. Stay with that until your breathing softens, until your heart calms, and sleep. Not in fear, but in peace, because you are not being left alone in the dark. I am with you, even there. The shift. This is how it begins, not with a sudden miracle, not with everything changing overnight, but with a presence that stays, a quiet transformation. You will begin to notice your thoughts soften, your fear loses its grip, your heart feels different, not perfect, but lighter, more grounded, more alive, because you are no longer walking alone.
Final message. You were never meant to carry life by yourself. You were never meant to live in constant fear. You were never meant to feel abandoned. The tomb is empty, not just as a story, but as a truth that reaches into your life. Death did not win. Darkness did not win. Silence did not win. And neither will the things you are facing. This is not your ending. This is your turning point. You are still here. You are still breathing, and I am still with you. Always. Not sometimes. Not when you feel strong. Not when you deserve it. Always. So rest. Not because everything is solved, but because you are not alone anymore, and you never will be.